Hello, my name is Crystal McFetters. I'm the Public Information Officer with the Unified Government of Wyandotte County. And today we are here for another episode of On the Dot. I have with me Mr. Commissioner Andrew Davis, and I want to just welcome you to this conversation on today. We have some amazing things to talk about, so welcome, Commissioner Davis.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Crystal. And it's good to be on. I'm glad we're doing this for our community to let folks know what's going on. And so, yeah, thank you for the good work that y'all are doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Like I say, I always start off my on the dot. Like I'm going to jump right in, but I want to have you kind of start off a little bit and introduce yourself a little bit more, if you don't mind. You're a new commissioner, but if you want to kind of share which district you're in and what does that encompass for our community, where the locations and things like that, that would be helpful for us.
Yeah, so I'm Andrew Davis. I'm the 8th District Commissioner for the Unified Government of Wyandotte County, KCK. From those of you that are unfamiliar with the 8th District, the best way I explain it is we're North Central KCK. And so we have some, known institutions such as both campuses of the community college, Schlegel High School, kind of the furthest east we go, Washington High School, kind of the furthest west that we go, Eisenhower Middle School, Gloria Willis Middle School. And so if you're kind of in that area, you are in the 8th District. We get a little bit of the Turner School District as well, kind of south of state. The majority of the district is KCKPS. And so we kind of have both. But yeah, we're the Wyandotte Plaza off of 78th Street as well, where we have the new Chipotle and where the Starbucks is opening up. A lot of people are excited about that, but those are
one of those.
Earth Road, Kaleidoscopes off of Parallel. Those are some pillars of the 8th District.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And again, welcome. Thank you. You're my first commissioner on the dot, so you're breaking it in right. So thank you. We have some amazing things that I know that you are doing for the community. One thing is talking about, you have some community conversations coming up, and I think they're called basically, let's talk about land bank, just, straight to the point. And you're offering 3 of these community conversations kicking off in the month of October. And I'm going to pull some information up really quick here. And I'm going to have you answer just a few questions and then kind of help people understand how they can truly get involved. About the land bank, you had this idea to come up with some community conversations kicking off, I see, in your district on October 1st. But why are these conversations so important? Why do you have this passion about the land bank and you want to get residents kind of involved? And I'm interested in this process, so if you don't mind kind of helping us out with that.
Yeah, so it's kind of mid-October all the way to November 1st. We are doing 3 land bank listening sessions, and the reasoning behind it is pretty simple. We have over 4,500 parcels of land that the unified government has in the land bank. That is not the full width and breadth of how much vacant land we have, and we need to decide what we want to do with it. I think we have a good policy, a good process that's in place right now, but it can be better. And what time that's better than now to really hear from residents, business owners, developers, and other commissioners and other staff members from the unified government, BPU. How do we get all of us to come together, bring the best ideas to the table, and then create a policy that is very rich, that makes it easy to develop, but it also does not leave behind our residents and the character of our neighborhoods. Many of our land bank parcels are in the Northeast, and the Northeast is not in my district. However, when people ask, Andrew, why did you take this on? My response is I have a lot of residents that have a lot of ties to the Northeast, and we know that the results of redlining really removed a lot of particularly middle class Black folks out of that area because of the lack of investment of the federal government, which has resulted in the results that we have today. And so there are existing residents of the Northeast. We want to honor that. We want to hear from them. And there are folks that, grandma had her home, off of, Quindaro or what have you. And so, you have this home that's been in the family for a while, and there's no planning around what folks are going to do. And so how do we as a community and as a government educate our citizens and their families on the options that they have with these homes so that they're not left out of the process? We've seen a lot of folks go into the delinquent tax sale and kind of not have a plan, not have an idea of what to do. How do we change that? We have a lot of developers that say, our process is very arduous and it's very difficult to build in Wyandotte County. How do we change that? We have the need for more rooftops so that we can bring in grocery stores and more commerce. How do we change that? I think the first step is this conversation and hearing from the community on what we can do with the land bank. And then from there, as a subcommittee, we will take those recommendations and prioritize which ones we want to put in for reform as we continue the process.
I love that. I love that. I know here at the UG and just in our community is we're thinking and we're always looking into community development and economic development. And so we can't have this economic development without really building up our neighborhoods and rebuilding and reshaping our neighborhoods. So I commend you for, like you said, for kind of really getting behind this and pulling the right people in place to have these conversations. So this is amazing. Like I said, you're kicking off on, it looks like October 18th. The first one in your district at Eisenhower Community Center, as well as there's going to be one October 25th. They're all fall on a Tuesday, I do notice, as well as November 1st is the final conversation that you all will have, and that will be at Argentine Community Center. And it looks like they're from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. So it gives a good length of time for people to ask questions, network, and understand truly that process. So what can people truly, you gave a really good summary, but what can people truly walk away from after they come from these sessions that you would say, or they can have like an action step of this is what I've learned from this that I could take and move forward on?
Well, I think, Crystal, you hit on something that is super, super important, and we probably don't talk about it enough, which is that many folks, including myself, we have a lot to learn about all of the opportunities of the land bank and what a current land bank policy is. And so this is both a chance to hear, right, the concerns, to hear what's going well, right, because everything is not broken, right, as a unified government. We have a lot of success stories from the land bank as well that we also want to highlight, and that will happen not just during those meetings, but it will happen throughout our meetings as a subcommittee. But there's the chance to learn, right, and there's also the chance to hear, and so we can educate our community on the process. Hopefully, they'll walk away with knowing, if I want to go through with the land bank application, existing for our process, here's how I can get that done. But then they also can say, well, I tried going through the process, or I'd like to go through the process, and here's what's stopping me. Hopefully, right, the commission, right, can hear me out, and we can get some consensus around those concerns, and we can address them in the policy review.
Perfect. This has been great for me. And like I said, I didn't realize that there were that many parcels and properties that were available. So it's a great opportunity, like you said, for people to truly understand the process and understand what they can do if they want to be a part of this and kind of help reshape our community, because I feel like it's so important. We're at that pivotal time of this is the change that we need to make. So this is great. Call to action. What can people do after, do they need to register? Can they just show up? Do you recommend they register? And is there a website or a page or anything that people can find this information on?
Yeah, so if you go in and search, right, unified government, let's talk land bank, you can Google it. There's a link that our communications department has put together where folks go ahead and register. Super important for folks to register. You can go to one meeting, you can go to all of them. Again, this is going to be kind of the first iteration. I'd like for us to have other meetings to hear back from the community, but this, let's get this one done first. But it's super important to register so that we capture the data. We'd like to be able to say we've had X amount of people come, to these land bank sessions. This was the overwhelming themes and feedback that we got from the community was X, Y, and Z. That really helps us see if these sessions were impactful, if they were meaningful, did people show up, did they meaningfully contribute? And then B, it helps us kind of set the groundwork for improvement. I think we are in kind of this renaissance of community engagement for the unified government. And I'm hoping that this adds to that process so that we can get better at community engagement and that we can really get our citizens in building the culture of show up to the meetings, right? Yeah. Be a voice, contact your commissioners. When you have these opportunities, I also am hosting a town hall on September 20th at, KCC, like show up to these things, meet your commissioners, meet our staff, get involved, ask questions. That really helps us know what our community needs, but also it helps get away from the rumors and the disinformation that seems to run rampant throughout our community.
That is so true. I appreciate just that information. I was going to have a follow-up question, but you answered it. Inside, I was going to say, do you plan on having any additional follow-up meetings or any kind of reporting that you will have from these conversations? And you hit the nail on it for me. That's literally what I was going to ask you. So. Yeah.
And just from a process standpoint, some folks have asked, have you all already met? Full transparency as a subcommittee. So there's 4 other commissioners that are part of this: Commissioner Markley, Commissioner Bynum, Commissioner Ramirez, and then Commissioner McKiernan. He's kind of our substitute in case the other commissioners can't. But there's a lot of rich history that our seasoned commissioners have, particularly with Markley and with McKiernan and with Bynum. And so we want to kind of tap into that so that we know the past, but we also want to build kind of forward the future, right? And so bringing in Commissioner Ramirez and having myself leading also kind of helps bridge that gap. But the plan is, we want to hear from the community. We're not meeting every week. We don't have things pre-decided. We really want to hear from the community first, take that feedback. I'll take that feedback as the chair, work with staff, and then we're going to set out a list of priorities for what the subcommittee will work on. But we've not had a regular meeting since. Everything has been about engagement and engaging stakeholders as it pertains to the land bank.
And that's what I think is amazing about this. Like you said, the partnership, this cross-functional partnership between you as well as the other commissioners, and bringing in the community to truly drive those decisions and really help people understand this process is very impactful. And I feel like our community is going to benefit tremendously from this. So again, thank you, Commissioner. Do you have any last words or any last comments that you would like to share for us?
Yeah, so as far as the land bank subcommittee goes, we have the commissioners to build the political will. We have extended an invitation to the mayor's office. I think Mr. Murray, if not Mr. Murray, someone else will kind of join in because we understand how important that perspective is. And then we want, staff to also be a part of the conversation because our staff is the one that actually does the work, right? They're the leg and the feet. And so whether it's public works, whether it's planning, whether it's economic development, whether it's, BPU, we need all of those pieces to come together and work in a way that's functional so that this policy review is something that will last and benefit us for a long time. And so super excited to get to work. It's not going to be easy, but I think we're going to come away with a very, very good policy. And pairing that with the economic strategic plan is going to go very, very nicely and set up the unified government to be successful for years and years to come.
I totally agree. I love the all hands on deck approach. I feel like that's what we need, and that's what we have been shifting to. And you can see the impact when we're pulling in the community. So thank you again. This was amazing. I look forward to hearing back. I was going to say we'll have to bring you back for an On the Dot part 2 after these conversations are over. So you can give us a verbal summary and synopsis of these conversations and some of the results that you all found that you've gained from hearing from the community. So again, Commissioner, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to joining at least one of those conversations. So thank you again, and thank you for talking to me.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. All right.